My name is Ursi Van der Herten, and well, I'm responsible for recruiting students in Sub-Saharan Africa for our MSc programs, but also for our full-time MBA and our executive MBA. So today we organized a session especially for candidates in Sub-Saharan Africa, well, to give you an overview about the programs for those of you that have not received the details yet or have not talked to me yet. And then, well, we are all here to answer any questions and share experiences, right? So let's get started. A little bit more information about Esade, why Esade, and you can see here that in fact we have three business units. We have the business school, the law school, and executive education. So our MSc programs are part of the business school. We have yearly more than 10,000 students on campus, 125 nationalities. And then you can also see here a little bit more information about accreditation. So Esade has a triple accreditation, triple crown accreditation. If you want to check out what exactly that means, I would like to invite you to go into each and investigate a little bit further. We are working with more than 40 partner schools around the world. And that, of course, depending on the program, for example, for the MSc program, we work with our partner schools for our study tours that are taking place in 14, 15 destinations around the world. For our full-time MBA program, we work with those partner schools for our exchange program, which is a 3-month exchange program with partner schools on all continents. And then, for example, for the executive MBA, we work also with a number of partner schools for the electives where our students, executive MBA students, can choose to do their electives abroad. So a lot of collaboration going on between Esade and the different partner schools. A little bit more information about the ranking. Here you can see our Master in International Management was ranked last year as 8 in the Financial Times. We were ranked the first for our Master in Business Analytics in Ad Universal, and there also for the third position for our Master in Innovation Entrepreneurship. And then in the QS ranking, we were ranked last year 7th worldwide for our Master in Marketing. So about Esade, I mean, talking about our main values and then how I think Esade is different from other schools is, first of all, the collaborative team spirit. So, well, in all our programs, we focus a lot on group work. Also, an important, well, part of your grades will depend on this group work. A very practical approach. You will see that our professors are, most of them are business practitioners. So they bring in their network contacts, business network from companies where they have worked with, they are working with, and also their own companies, right? Because we do have a lot of professors that have their own businesses. Then customization. You will see, and I will explain a little bit further in a little while, that there are different ways for you to customize the program, depending also on your future professional goals. Our alumni network is, well, worldwide present. As you can see, we have 73,000 alumni worldwide. We have 74 official international chapters. In Africa, you see that we have an official chapter with president in South Africa. But that doesn't mean that, for example, when I'm traveling to Kenya, to Ghana, to Nigeria now, or to other countries, we work from the admission side. We work very closely together with alumni, setting up events, roundtables, and so on. We also have interest clubs. So that means that when you graduate, for example, you say, okay, I'm working in marketing. I would like to be part of the marketing club or the entrepreneurship club. So there again, you will have the opportunity to join those, what we call interest clubs. Now, Barcelona, I don't think I have to sell Barcelona. I mean, most of you know the city, have been here, or, well, have heard about it. Barcelona is becoming very, very attractive for businesses. So not only for students, but then also for businesses. There is a very important tech and innovation hub that is present here. A lot of companies are coming to Barcelona, setting up their business. So a lot of a really vibrant startup environment. So yeah, I mean, really a place to be for a lot of businesses. Now, about our programs, we are currently offering 6 different programs, which is Business Analytics, the Master in Finance, Innovation Entrepreneurship, International Management, Marketing Management, and Sustainability Management, which is a new program that we launched a year ago. So we're currently in the 2nd edition of this program. All our programs have a very similar structure. I would say they have the same structure with some slight differences. First of all, when we start with the pre-program. So there again, depending what program you're going to be doing, if you're applying for the finance, if you're admitted to the finance program and you don't have a finance background, we will ask you to do an online pre-program in finance, which is taking place during the summer, July, August, online. Then, for example, if we go to the business analytics program, there again, if you have a business background, we will ask you to do the pre-program in data science. If you have a data technical background, we will ask you to do the business integration path. There again, taking place in July, August. And then the business integration path, we do ask you to come to campus a little bit earlier before the start of the program to do part of the program in person. Then for all the other programs, if you don't have a business background, we will also ask you to do this business integration path. Then we start the first term with core courses. The second term will be dedicated to specialized courses. The third term to electives, and you will also have time to work on your project, your end project. In between term 1 and 2, we have our study tours, which I would like to tell you a bit more about in a little while. And then when classes end in June, you do have the option to do an internship. So the graduation will take place in October, which will give you the time for a 2 up to 3 month internship for those of you that are interested in that. And then, of course, you will have to present your project where you can choose between a master thesis, in-company project, or a business plan. So I think this is a very brief overview about the structure of the program. It's a very international experience you're going to be having when joining our programs. Well, first of all, you will have the opportunity to learn a language if you're interested in that. I also mentioned the internships that are taking place worldwide, and then the study tours. Each program, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about that right here. You will have a list of all the study tours that we're currently offering. Of course, this is also updated year by year because, I mean, this year, unfortunately, we could not do our study tour in Israel. But you will see here, I mean, there are destinations all around the world, right? To give you an idea, UCLA is for the study tour in marketing. Bocconi is also for the marketing program. But then South Korea for the business analytics, Singapore is then international management. So again, each program has its own study tours. You will have the priority to do the study tour of your program, but then you will also have the opportunity, if there are seats available, of course, but we try to make that possible, to do also a study tour of one of the other programs. When I told you before that we're offering 6 programs, I didn't include the SAMS program because this is one of the second-year options. The SAMS, you might have heard about it. The SAMS Association is a worldwide association. Currently, there are 34 business schools. Esade is the only school in Spain which is part of the association. So for those of you that are interested in doing a global international management program, this could be a really good option, right? That means that after your first year at Esade, you will do 1 term in Esade, a second term in one of the other 33 partner schools, and then do an international internship, right? So if you're interested in this program, we do ask you to apply at the same time as your first program, because the decisions will be taken, the admission decision will be taken together with the first program. There are more options for to do a second year, which are the internal double degree or the external double degree. So internal, of course, means that you're going to be doing one of the other programs at Esade. You will see there again the tuition fee is quite interesting, right? Because there you would be paying slightly more than 50% of the normal tuition fee if you decide to do a second year at Esade. And then, of course, we have several partners that you see here on the screen where we are partnering with for an external double degree. All right. So then I would like to tell you a bit more about the profile we have in class this year. So we have currently 576 students. We have 72 nationalities represented and 91% of international students. So this means, of course, that we're quite restrictive. We do want to make sure that we have the diversity in class. So that's why in our programs, in this case this year, you will find 9% of Spanish students. Every year, I mean, it's more or less the same. We have never, as long as I'm working in Esade, we never had more than this 9% of Spanish students. We have a good representation of female. That, of course, depends on what program you're doing. If you're doing finance or if you're doing business analytics, we have a lower representation of female. When you're doing, for example, the marketing program or sustainability, there you will see that we will have more women than men. The average age is 23. And then you can also see here that we do have the largest representation of students coming from Europe, but of course we also have students coming from Asia, as you can see, 11%, from Latin America, from Middle East, and then Sub-Saharan Africa. Hopefully next year we will have some more. So this year, out of the 576, we have five students. They're all South Africans this year from Sub-Saharan Africa. Now, for a business, the academic background, here you see that the majority of our students have business background, but of course not all of them. So 58% business background, and then we have economics, we have social sciences, we have engineering, we have healthcare, and also even from law. So I think we do think it is important to have this diversity also background wise. Now, the application process, as you know, started in September. So some of you are already applying. And you can see that, you will see on the website that there are different rounds. Now, just mentioning here that we work with a rolling, on a rolling base. So that means that you will not have to wait until the first, I mean, now it's going to be the second deadline coming up. You don't have to wait until the second deadline to get a decision. So we have a weekly admissions committee, which means that when your application is complete, we've done the admissions interview, we can then immediately go to the committee, which is, as I said, every Thursday taking place. For the application process, you will have to fill in the online application, and then there are some required documents that we want you to upload, which of course are your bachelor degree, your transcripts, your English certificate. Well, for most of you coming from Sub-Saharan Africa, this will not be needed because English is your mother tongue. Also, if you have studied, if English is not your mother tongue, but you have studied your bachelor degree in English, of course, you will also receive a waiver for the English certificate. Then we ask for an admissions test, and there you have the choice to do the GMAT, the GRE, or the Esade admissions test. If you're interested, if I haven't sent you that information yet, happy to send you guidelines regarding our test, which is very similar to the GMAT, with the difference that it is not adaptive and you can use a calculator. So if you say, look, I already scheduled the GMAT, we can wait for this result. If we're happy with that result, we can immediately continue with your application, do the interview. If we say, okay, I mean, we're not too happy with the result, we will give you more time to do the Esade test and then wait to finalize your application and go to the admissions committee. So this is going to be a conversation we're going to be having. I'm not going to be taking any further step until we have discussed about your documents and your test score. We're going to be asking for recommendation letters, which are 2. If you have any work experience, internship experience, I would recommend to also have like a professional recommendation letter besides then the academic one. We will ask for a CV, and then in the application, you will see that there are some questions. we want you to answer, which is going to be part of your essay and your motivation for doing the program. So this is very shortly the different steps. So once your application is complete, once you have submitted, when we have the test result, there's going to be an official interview, which is going to be with me. And then I will present your application to the committee. Then, financing, I think that's important for a lot of you. So just letting you know that we have two different kinds of scholarships. We have the Excellence Award Scholarship. There we're going to be taking into account, well, your talent, right? Your academic background, if you have internship, work experience, any awards that you've been granted, your international exposure, personal impact. So based on all that, we're going to be making an evaluation and see if we can grant you a scholarship and what will be the amount of the scholarship. Now, the Excellence Award, I would say, goes up maximum to 40% of the tuition fee. The second kind of scholarships is the NEED scholarship. For this scholarship, first of all, letting you know that we have 6 available, right, for 580 students. What is going to be considered here, besides your being and also an Excellence Award, is going to be your financial situation. So we're going to be asking you for additional documents, which are bank statements, pay slips, well, all kind of financial information. And you can find all that information on the website, so you can already have a look at it and see what documents you have to bring together. The deadlines are not updated yet. While for the Excellence Award, we take decisions every week. For the NEED scholarship, there are 3 deadlines. One is most probably going to be end of January, the second one somewhere in February, and then March or April. So if you would like to go and apply for this NEED scholarship, I always recommend to make sure that you can be in the first deadline, end of January, which would mean that time-wise, you would, to be on time to apply for this NEED scholarship. Of course, you need to be admitted. So that means that at the latest, we would need to do the interview the second week of January to be on time for the first deadline of the NEED scholarship. If not, I mean, we are offering Excellence Awards all year round. Of course, don't wait until July, because then our budget is going to be very, very restricted. Another important information are the loan programs. So you can combine a scholarship with a loan. For African countries, the loan providers that we work with and we've been most successful with are the Spanish bank, which is Bank Sabadell, and then also Prodigy Finance, and then also Landwise. Although they say that they're focusing on European nationalities, we have some students and that were able to get this Landwise loan. So if you're interested in that, I can easily connect you with those alumni that were successful with applying to this loan. A little bit more information about careers. Why I'm mentioning is because it's going to be an important part of your time that you're going to be working with our career team. We have a team of more than 30 career advisors, which are specialized in their sectors. So we have a team focusing on financing, on consulting, on healthcare, on tech, on all the rest would we put under the global organizations, I think they name it. And then we even have a person that is working transversally, that is looking for jobs with social impact through different sectors. So there's all kind of activities that are going to take place, going from career fairs, companies coming to campus for interviews, for your internship, for your placement afterwards, but then also interacting with companies where they're going to be talking about what's going on in their sector, what are the job positions they are looking for, what are the skills needed for those positions, and then together with a career team, you're going to be working on those skills, of course, if you're interested in that, in workshops. There's also going to be, the team is going to be working with you, preparing you for interviews, working on your CV, So I think we can ask our alumni later on about their experience there and all the activities that they've been doing during the program. Some of our recruiters that are every year recruiting on campus. For more details, if you go to the website and you have a look at the employment report, you will see on the last page like a very long list of companies. So you can also have a look at that. Now, some numbers here. So we have a really good placement. In the 3 months after graduation, 93% of our students has found a job. Of course, we always have those students that decide not to look for a job immediately, or so that's why, I mean, still it's a very high number. And then 42% of our graduates are not going back to their country, are starting a job outside of the country. And then here you have a salary overview, which is for the Master in Finance, for example, average salary 3 years after graduation, and then for International Management, also 3 years after graduation. All right. Well, I think now we're coming to the most interesting part of this session. We have invited some of our alumni and students. I would like to introduce you, first of all, to Kevin Dodor. Kevin is from Ghana, and he graduated a year ago from the Master in Business Analytics. He stayed in Spain, so he's currently working in Madrid as a data analyst. And then also Ayooluwa, who's here with us from Nigeria. She recently, a couple of weeks ago, also graduated from the Master in Business Analytics. She's still in Barcelona. So I'm excited to hear what she's up to in the coming months. And then we have Ruby from South Africa, who started the Master in Finance this year in September. And then Alex Phillips, also from South Africa, who's currently doing the Master in International Management. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I would like to invite all of you to switch on the camera. I saw that in the meantime, we have more candidates that have joined us. So maybe I would like to first ask our students and alumni to briefly introduce themselves. Maybe tell us, well, my first question would be why did you decide to look for a master abroad and not in your own country? And then why did you choose Esade, right, between all the choices, because all of you have done their research and have been looking into different schools. So very shortly here, maybe telling why you decided to choose Esade. Ayooluwa, you want to start, because I see you. And welcome, Ayooluwa. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Ursi. As Ursi mentioned, I am Ayooluwa. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a chartered accountant. And yeah, why Esade? Why did I choose to do my master's abroad? First and foremost, I chose Esade because I wanted to come to Spain. So I mean, I've loved the Spanish language for quite a while, say 3 years or 2 years before my master's. And when I did my research on the course, business analytics, and I tried to find out the top schools and top schools offering business analytics, Esade was on the list, and I just, this is the choice, right? Because I wanted to come to Spain, I wanted to live the Spanish culture. And yeah, that's basically why Esade and why international and not my home country. I mean, sometimes you need to, move outside your country to get exposed, to learn more. And so yeah, that's basically it for me. Thank you.
So Ayooluwa, we met in person, right, in Nigeria before you start the program. So you came to an event. Maybe you want to talk a little bit. Did this event help you with taking the decision? What was your experience there?
Okay, I would say the event was nice. It happened February 2023, and I came in September 2023. And for the event, we had the consulate of the Spanish embassy in Nigeria attending. And it was a great event. We networked, and at the end of the day, the relationship with the Spanish consulate helped in hastening my visa processes. So I would say the process afterwards was really smooth, and it was really cool to meet some prospective students as well as people that had, studied. I met someone, she studied a year before or 2 years before Ore, and she, gave tips, especially like the transport system. It was from her I got to know of the T-Hove card, and it was a very great experience. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ayooluwa, for sharing. Maybe Kevin, you wanna go next?
Yeah, sure. So why Esade? So I think we also met in person in Ghana while you were
In
in Ghana.
Ghana, yeah, yeah.
And well, at the time, I wasn't quite keen on pursuing a master's yet. But then after getting to know the school like a bit more, some of the prospective things that like I could have got from the school as well, the education and also the ranking Esade had, well, in Europe and worldwide as well. I think all those things came together to kind of they pushed me to like decide to pursue the master a bit earlier than I'd expected. And well, why Esade? Because it's in Spain as well, which I think I love also. So I got to, well, unlike Ayooluwa, I hadn't learned a lot about the language. So I got to like kind of immerse myself in the culture, kind of learn a bit while I was here. And yeah, I think it's been quite nice.
And you're now in Madrid. So what city do you prefer, Barcelona or Madrid?
Well, I'll say I'm a bit biased still, because I've
Okay,
been in Barcelona
okay.
for a bit long, so still Barcelona for now.
Okay, good. That's good. But anyway, I mean, I'm sure you will be enjoying Madrid too. It's a really, really nice city too. Okay, Alex, what about you?
Hi everyone. As you can hear, I've lost my voice a little bit, but it just shows you that Barcelona is a fun city to live in. So if you do move to Barcelona, I promise you'll have lots of fun. Um, so I wanted to do my master's overseas because I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. I think it's a very common experience on the continent to like want to go get exposure overseas, and see how things are done elsewhere. But I was always very committed to, I want to live in South Africa my whole life. So my plan is really to come here and use this as like a launching pad to be able to work all over Europe for a few years and then eventually return back to South Africa. So that was my motivation. And I chose Esade. Well, I think from the outset of the application process, you can just really see how the university treats you. It's really different to my process with other universities. It's very personal. They really, I feel like, look at you as a person and not just what your GRE mark is, which is amazing. And as I went through the process and spoke to people I knew who'd been there and got to learn a bit more, I realized that it's probably the most international experience you can have. So that thing about them only taking 9% Spanish students, you really have that experience on campus. So you never feel like the odd one out, sticking out this like random person from somewhere else. You always, you like everyone's in the same boat with you and you meet amazing people. So that's the
Thank you,
experience.
Alex. Thanks. Ruby, what about you?
Hi guys. So I decided to do my master's overseas. Well, it was actually pretty much something that I always knew that I wanted to do. I've lived in Cape Town my whole life, and I mean the furthest that I went from Cape Town was 45 minutes away to Stellenbosch. So I'd really always wanted to live overseas and study overseas. It was just in my plan from the beginning. So then why Esade? Firstly, they have a really highly ranked finance program, which was something that was appealing to me. Also, a really high level of job security after the program. And then I'd spoken to a lot of people who had firstly come to Esade and had actually done the program I was doing. And their feedback was just incredible. Like they had nothing but positive things to say about the uni. And as Alex mentioned, everyone is so welcoming and kind. From the onset of the process, everyone was amazing, so eager to help you, quick to respond to emails, happy to have video calls, and really kind of like hold your hand through the whole application process, which was something I didn't find at any other unis. Most of the other unis I applied to, people took like a week to get back to me. So yeah, and I wanted to live in Spain.
All right. So I want to hear a bit more because during my presentation, I talked about the diversity that we have in class, the nationalities, the different nationalities we have. So I would like to ask maybe a little bit more, about your experience, right? How is it to be in class with so many different nationalities? What advantages does it give you? Maybe Ruby, you want to maybe say a little bit more about that if you want.
Sure. So, I mean, from a social aspect, it's amazing because you learn so much about people's cultures, but it's also just really interesting to see everyone's humor and personality. And it's just nice to extend your social circle. And everyone here is extremely like warm and friendly. And then in terms of a class perspective, it's really just interesting to learn more about like the economies of other people's countries and how finance works there. And we have a lot of class discussions about this, and it really has just broadened my perspective because obviously I'm very focused on the South African economy. So it's just really been interesting to see how things work in other places.
Yeah, yeah. And then maybe Kevin or Ayooluwa, as coming from Western Africa, unfortunately we don't have too many of this region, too many students of that region in the program. So how was it for you to be surrounded with, mainly nobody from your country, right? So how was it easy to integrate? What was your experience there? Ayooluwa, yeah.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, Kevin.
Okay,
Okay.
so for me, it was quite amazing. I think, like Ruby said, it was very nice to, get to hear from people from different countries, get to hear about their culture. And I think one fascinating thing for me, especially with the business analytics, is the fact that when you're divided into groups, you have to work in groups every term. And for me, every time I did not work with the same people from the same country, in the sense that for term one, we were a group of six, and amongst us, there was no two persons from the same country. So it was very helpful in, relating with people, getting to know about their country from a very personal point of view, get to know about their food, even if you haven't been there, you have like an idea. And then when you eventually visit, you're able to, relate because of your relationship with the other people. So it was really nice. Yeah, I was like the only African in my section, but it didn't really feel out of place. I got more exposed, for lack of a better word, and it was a very great feeling. So, Kevin?
All right. And Kevin, how was it for you to get settled and to start working in groups?
Yeah, so I'd say what was the same as what everyone else has said. But then for me personally, I got in late, as you know, because of the visa issues I had before coming in. But then once I got in, everyone was quite welcoming. Um, trying to like maybe show me a few spots to go, maybe after school, welcoming me into like their kind of like the groups, and then also very approachable as well. Since, like I said, I didn't get in a bit early to join the program, but then I was still able to catch up because everyone around me was quite open and then willing to help with everything. So it's really good.
And Kevin, also, talking about career activities, you started working your job, right? So, and you had the opportunity to stay in Spain. So would you like to share maybe how you got this job, and also what was your experience during the year working with the career team and interacting with companies?
Okay, well, so before the end of the masters, there were a lot of, career-related activities. So there was the career fair. There were also very little activities that the career team also organized, kind of like, for example, the CV review, cover letter reviews. So before the end of the program, I was able to join these activities, and then quite a few each of these. And then that also helped me in knowing exactly what to look out for while looking for jobs, and also be able to know how to navigate through the interview process. Yeah, so in doing so, I was able to find something on LinkedIn and applied, went through the process, and luckily enough for me, the company was willing to sponsor my visa to stay, and were able to help me smoothly transition from being a student to now being employed here.
Okay, so yeah, that's also good to know. Well, of course, our career team, they're working very intensively with companies, and also collaborating with alumni that we have in those companies worldwide, right? So they also know, like, okay, you would need a visa to stay in Spain. Of course, they're gonna be assessing you, like, okay, those are the companies that are sponsoring visas. So they're also gonna be helping you with that. And you were talking about the career fairs. So depending on the sector, for example, some careers will start, fairs will start earlier than others. I know that financing and consulting start very early. So I don't know, Ruby and Alex, have you already gone through one of those career fairs, and what was your experience there?
I'm happy to answer, Rube. So the career fairs are amazing because I think often with careers it's very intimidating, like not only where to even start, but you don't even know what companies are out there sometimes. So it's amazing because these companies come and present to you at Esade, and they really kind of, you get to know exactly what they are looking for and what roles they are and how to kind of go about those processes. And then you've also got the opportunity to go and directly meet the recruiters and people working at those companies. So it's very much like a learning process for me, this kind of networking experience. But through these career fairs, you go, you meet people, they can put a face to a name, and you can kind of be in contact with the people at those companies before you even apply. So it's really, really helpful. And then in parallel to the careers fairs, there's an amazing career service. So if you're planning on applying to a job at a specific company, you can book a meeting with a specialized sectoral advisor for, say, if you want to work in consulting, there's a consulting advisor, or in healthcare, there's a healthcare advisor. And they can let you know if they know anyone at these companies. They can give you advice on what kind of questions they ask in the interviews. And so there's like this really in-depth knowledge that is really, really helpful. As like someone gave me the advice before I came to Esade, use the career service. So it's very much on you to use that asset, but it's such a big asset if you use it well.
Mm-hmm. What was your experience, Ruby? Have you attended a finance career fair?
I did attend the finance career fair, and I think just a tip for anyone who's doing finance, they really do kind of stress the deadlines. Like, I think on the first day we arrived, the head of the finance program told us that we should have already started applying to jobs before we came. So it's quite competitive, but the career fairs are a really nice place to start. You can see all the different companies, they give you all the deadlines, they tell you what you need to do. And as Alex said, you have the opportunity to actually speak with them and kind of get your foot in the door. And you know, like, so if they know who you are, and then you can also like take the initiative and reach out to them on LinkedIn, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so Ayooluwa, well, you recently graduated, and I'm very curious to know what you're planning for the next month. If you are doing interviews, would you like to share about that?
Yeah, sure. So currently registering for like Spanish classes, and I've been doing a couple of interviews, and I would like to add that even after you graduate, the career fair still like looks out for you. So I've done like an interview with McKinsey, and I got that because the career fair reached out to me to say, oh, there's this role, are you open to it? And I'm like, oh, sure. So they said, oh, indicate your interest via this link, and I did, and then I think a couple of weeks later, they sent me like an assessment, and yeah. So I would say after you graduate, the career fair still looks out for you, and like you're not alone. So aside doing a couple of interviews with so many other companies, yeah, I'm also trying to like do Spanish classes. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
So
I'm in
would
Barcelona
you
for a
like
while.
to Would you like to stay in Spain, or are you well open to move around?
As much as I'm open to moving around, I mean, depending on where I get a job, if
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose where I want to stay, likely Spain, because I do want to be good in Spanish. So
Good.
yeah.
All right. So Ayooluwa, I do have, because I mean, talking about clubs and the way how you can customize your program, I think, well, you're a very, I mean, example that I always like to mention that when I talk about networking and connection between our different programs. So all our programs, MSc programs, they have their clubs, MBA program, they have their clubs. And we see that more and more there's an interaction between our full-time MBA and MSc, right? So Ayooluwa, maybe you want to explain how you became president of the Blacks in Business Club of the full-time MBA, being an MSc student?
Sure. So when I first came to Barcelona, I met one of the MBA. That's the previous president of the Blacks in Business and Allies Club. So we met and we got talking, and he's like, oh, he's gonna leave, and he needs someone to hand over the presidency to. And he said, oh, ordinarily it's meant to be an MBA person, but he thinks I'm a very good fit. That, oh, am I interested? And I'm like, sure, yeah. So he was like, me being the president would be like the beginning of, merging the MSc into the MBA to increase network, to, give more visibility to the club. And I would say I did accept the nomination, and I got support from an MBA student who's going to graduate in 2025. So he was helping me with like managing the communication between myself and the MBA guys, and then I was managing communication between the other Blacks in the MSA. And it was a very amazing ride. And also because of the club, I've also got to like, I have access to some what's the word now? So would I say from some networks for some consulting companies, say Bain. I also got to meet like the incoming MBA students. So I'd say it was a very amazing opportunity, and it was very helpful, increasing my network and as well as, honing my leadership skills. So it was quite the ride.
And I did hear you did a really good job. So
Thank you.
so that is great. Now, other ways to customize the program are like, of course, the study tour, which is optional, but I mean, most of our students are doing the study tour because I mean, it brings you to another country, to another partner school, to another, I mean, environment, business environment. So I would say if you have the opportunity, for sure, do our study tours. And then another way to customize is through electives in the last term. So I wanted to hear, I don't know, Kevin, did you go on a study tour? I don't remember. I know that Ayooluwa, you did.
Yes and no.
You went? Oh, okay.
Yes and no. So
but yeah.
I was supposed to be in Canada, but then well, I couldn't join in person, but then I was able to join remotely. And
Okay.
well, most of the sessions I made it to were quite an experience for me. So I got to learn a lot of really new things that I otherwise wouldn't have, focused on. And
Yeah.
one of the sessions mainly was what drove me to the topic I decided to pursue for my master's thesis. So I would say it was quite a really good experience, although I would have loved to be there in person. I got some really good reviews from those who were in there in person. So yeah.
And what was your master thesis about, Kevin?
Come again.
What was your master thesis about? What was the subject?
So it was related to being able to handle text using large language models to be able to detect sarcasm in text and be able to kind of send out alerts when there's humans alone to be able to detect some of these things. So kind of a way to include machines in the mix with regards to that. So.
Okay, great. And Ayooluwa, I know that you went to St. Gallen, to Switzerland, right? You did a finance study tour while you were doing the Master in Business Analytics. So yeah, tell us a bit more about that. How was your experience?
Yeah, I would say my experience was really amazing, right? First off, I have an accounting finance background, so it was very easy for me to, to adapt. But I would say overall, aside the classes and, enjoying and not finding difficulty in adapting, I would say, like I earlier mentioned, having people from different countries in your group. So in my term one, I had a Swiss guy in my group. So we've spoken so much about Swiss. It's told me about the culture. So I mean, the study tour was an opportunity for me to experience the Swiss culture firsthand, using my conversation with the Swiss guy, and I'll say it was an amazing experience. I was able to relate. I was able to see, oh, this is why they behave this way. Oh, this is why this is this way. And I'll say it made me more, accommodating, for lack of better word. So I did enjoy the study tour because it was a finance study tour, so it was a very amazing one. And then also experiencing the Swiss culture, even though it was just for like a few weeks, but yeah, it was great.
All right. Then Alex, Ruby, where are you going in January?
I'm actually going to Switzerland, so that was very
Okay.
helpful to hear.
Okay, so you're going to St. Gallen. What about you, Alex?
I'm going to Bangalore, so it's the business analytics study tour. So I had to swap for it, but I'm really excited because the study tours also really like bring home like how amazing the friendship opportunities are to Esade. So the reason I decided to go to Bangalore is because the group of friends that I've made here thought it would be amazing to go travel south of India and Sri Lanka before the study tour. So it really just shows you like how quickly you make really nice friends here.
Yeah, so it is like that. So the study tour is 1 week long from Monday until Friday, well, Sunday evening until Friday. But then you always have some time before or after to travel around. So I remember, well, for those of you in Cape Town or in South Africa, our international management students will be at UCT the week of the 20th of January. And well, I know like from last year, our students rented cars, they did a garden route, so they traveled together. So for those of you that are interested, on the 20th of January, I'm doing another info session, but then in person at UCT with our international management students that are going to be on campus at UCT. So there's not going to be any South Africans. They're not going to be any Africans that are going to be there. But yeah, all our students from all around the world. So I put together an info session with a Swiss, a German, a Brazilian. I think there's, well, some other nationalities. So it's going to be quite interesting. We're going to be doing some networking afterwards. So as soon as the invitation is ready, I will send it to all of you based in South Africa. Now, I would like to open the microphone because I'm sure that those of you attending after seeing the presentation, after listening to our students, alumni, you might have some questions that came up. So feel free to switch on your microphone, your camera, and ask your questions. Who wants to go first? I'm sure there are some questions. Nobody?
I think they're a bit shy.
A bit shy, but I mean, go ahead. We're here
Maybe
just
you
to
can write
share
it in the chat.
Sorry, I don't
Maybe
see
they
any
can type
questions
it.
in the chat. No. No questions. Well, I have a lot of questions, but I would like to prefer our candidates to ask their questions.
I have a question.
Hello, Annie. Hi, nice seeing you. Please go ahead.
I have a question for like Ali or Ruby. Like, what is your experience transitioning from South Africa to Spain and like the lifestyle there and just settling in?
Was it for me or for Alex?
For Alex, I think, and Ruby. Yeah.
I can answer. Annie and I actually went to high school. It's the same high school, so nice to see you, Anne. So what was really nice and what actually was part of what drew me to Esade is Spain. I think it's like a much easier transition for South African. Like it's a very relaxed lifestyle. Barcelona itself, like you can draw parallels between Barcelona and Cape Town. It's got the beach, it's got the mountain, there's lots of nature. But in general, it's just got a nice, like relaxed vibe. So I think it does work well for South Africans. But like that being said, and I'm sure everyone can relate to this, picking up and moving to a foreign country, I definitely underestimated it. It is an adjustment process. So I also planned it really badly. I wanted to have a long family holiday in Greece. So I came the day before I started. So my advice to anyone who is coming to Esade or any university is give yourself like a week or two to settle in, move in, get to know the town a bit. But honestly, it's been 2 months and I'm so settled and I love it and I know my way around. So not a big transition. Don't worry too much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annie. Okay, any more questions? Well, what about time management? Because I mean, the program is very intense, right? How do you combine? How do you manage your time between school and then also curriculum activities? Who wants to share his or her experience here?
Maybe I can go first.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I would say for me, what worked was prioritizing. I mean, I think whatever you put your mind to do, you can always do it. And it's okay to want to do so many things at the same time, but prioritizing which one has to go out first, which one needs to be done first, which can be done later and wouldn't like have so much negative impact. So yeah, prioritizing, and I would say in prioritizing, also learn to prioritize your fun because breaks are needed. But yeah, so prioritizing the tasks worked for me.
All right. Alex, you said that you're enjoying Barcelona so much that you lost your voice.
Yeah, so I mean, you definitely do have to prioritize. For me, it was a big thing of I'd been working for 2 years before I did the degree, and I had to adjust back into university thinking where it's like when you're working, you're 9 to 5, and then your evenings your own or your weekends are your own. And like now you're responsible for your own time and activity. So you definitely have to work around that. But I mean, I can only speak for the MIM, but usually I only have class in the morning or the afternoon. So I can use my mornings and afternoons to do my work. But it is intense and you definitely have to come knowing that it's intense and that you've got to be on top of your work.
Have you joined any clubs, Alex?
So I haven't joined any student clubs. I wanted to put my focus on being a fellow and on my academics. And I'm also very into my like sport. So I've focused on that.
Okay, good. Any challenges? We still have like about 5 minutes. Would you like to share any challenges that you had before starting the master, coming here? Maybe Kevin, you wanna share your experience? I don't remember how the visa process went with you, because I mean, it is important knowing if you don't have a double nationality like Alex and like Ruby, that you have to make sure to apply on time for different reasons, right? First of all, as I said, if you want to apply for the NEET scholarship, don't wait until April when we don't have any available anymore. If you need a visa, don't wait until May to be admitted, and start your application for the visa in June. we do have a good relationship with consuls, with ambassadors in all the country, well, in a lot of countries. But of course, I mean, there's a part of the process that you have to go through that they can't change neither, right? So I think these are some of the things you have to take into account. But yeah, Kevin, any challenges that you faced?
Well, I think you touched on most of them.
Mm.
But I think most of my challenges were from not applying as early as I should have. But then I think Esade was still able to providing a bit of help with that, with the relationship they have with the consulate in Ghana and the ambassador as well, and a few other people. So they're able to really help with that process. One piece of advice I would give is to not wait till you have or till you think you have all the documents you need to send the application for the visa. You could just start the process and then slowly add up on the documents when you have them or when you get them. So that helps quite a lot with being able to, get things sorted out.
Yeah, regarding the visa, I really recommend to, first of all, to reach out to the consulate or the embassy, because requirements might change from one year to the other, right? So this is one thing. And then I also advise to speak to one of our current students or recently graduated students that went through the process in your country, right? Also to get their advice in order to speed up and work efficiently on this visa procedure. And then, of course, for those of you that want to combine the scholarship with a loan, there again, if it's important for you to know that you have a loan before taking the decision and enrolling in the program, then also don't wait too long. And as soon as you are admitted to the program, immediately reach out to the different financial institutions and see what they can offer you. So I think that's also important. Any of you, Ayooluwa, any challenge? Ruby, yeah.
Ruby, do you want to go?
Luckily I didn't have too many challenges because I do have another passport, so the process was quite seamless for me. Also, I found that the uni is extremely helpful with organizing things like your NIE appointment and really just being on top of letting you know what you need to get done before and what documents you need to organize. So the university does make the transition quite easy, but I'm only speaking from this perspective. I know it is harder when you don't have a European passport.
Okay, thank you so much. So I just wanted to check, last chance, if any of you would like, has any further questions, doubts, or want to share, give feedback, feel free, I mean, to let us know.
I've just got 2 questions quickly.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Mumbi.
How are you? Sorry. So I've just got 2 questions. How often are you on campus? I know everyone's timetable is different, but I'm just asking from perspective because I know masters, I think, or what I've heard, you're not on campus as often. It's more independent work. That's my first one. And then the last one is you talked about, I think Ruby's going to Switzerland. About are you working with companies and are you in the office every day in like that work experience? I think I was also going to Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken. So those are my 2 questions.
Okay. Who wants to answer?
I
Alex.
can-
Yeah.
I'll answer as well because I also know Mumbi from school.
Yeah.
So nice to see you. But so it's not because they're not really research masters, you are actually on campus a lot. So I'm there every single day, which is actually really nice because you want to also have like a full experience and a social time. So I really enjoy being there every day, and the campus is beautiful. I know that in the 3rd semester, though, when you do electives, you're on campus a lot less. So I have friends with their electives that are going to be on campus like twice a week. Because of what I chose for my electives, I'm still going to be there 4 days a week. But yeah, as I say, it's usually only a morning or an afternoon, and then you go home. And then with working with companies, in my course, we do this project that's like the main project. It's almost like a mini thesis, even though you do write a thesis.
where you basically consult to a real company and they are your client. So in your group, you literally we're meeting with this company every 2 weeks, and we're doing a project for them, and there's a deliverable. So that's really cool work experience. And then I think if you do an internship instead of a thesis after the 3rd semester, then you'll obviously be working with a company. But on the study tour, we're at a university, not at a company.
Okay. Thanks, all.
I can
Mumbi, you
add
had
to the
any
study tour.
Yes.
For the study tour, yes, you were in classes, but depending, I don't know about in Switzerland, you go visit some companies. So during my time, we went to UBS, and we also visited Appenzell, which was another town in Switzerland, and then we visited the first beer company in Switzerland or something. So yeah, well, though you're majorly in classes, but there are some, what's the word now? There are some company visits, right?
Yeah.
And there are some country exploration, for lack of a better word. So
Yeah, it depends on the program, but most of the programs do have company visits. Also, the study tour that goes to Cape Town, they have 3 campus visits I saw now. Those that go to Silicon Valley, it's like mainly visits with companies. The marketing in UCLA, they also went to the film studios, and I mean, most of the study tours have at least 3 company visits or interactions with companies. So yeah. Did that answer your question, Umbi?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? No? All right, then I would like to share one last slide with you, and those are the upcoming events. For those of you that are based in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, we have some events taking place in the coming months. So as usual, the personal assessment session. So if you want to meet me for just like an info session to talk about your profile, to discuss any questions you have, how our program would be a good fit for you, please let me know. You can easily book a session with me in those 4 cities. And then also we've organized a really, really interesting event with alumni and MBA alumni, executive MBA students in Lagos, with the presence of the Consul of Spain. He's going to be with us. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, the info session that is going to take place at UCT in Cape Town in January. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't received the invitations yet for Nigeria, Ghana, let me know, send me an email. I will send you all the links. And then the invitations for South Africa will come soon, somewhere at the start of December for you, if you already want to sign up. If you will be ready to do the interview, also we can take advantage of doing the interview, the official interview in person, right? So yeah, that's everything. Lovely seeing all of you attending. If you have further questions, don't hesitate, reach out to me. And then thanks a lot, Alex, Ruby, Ayooluwa, Kevin, for being here and sharing your experience. And well, I'm sure it was very helpful for all the candidates that attended today. So yeah, have a lovely evening, all of you.
and you too,
Hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.